Hello. Um, okay, so you start. Go ahead,
All
Gab.
right. Welcome to the Film Fanatics, which is where we talk about the movies that have us obsessed, excited, and inspired. And I'm Gal.
And I'm Alan, and that was not a great intro, Gal. Congrats. Uh,
It's the same. Come on.
no, I'm joking. Today we have a really fun one. We have an episode of our series Can It Contend, which is a series where we talk about Oscar movies or Oscars or awards in general. And we have very special guests. Tell us a little bit more about them.
We have a little reunion from our Oscar predictions all the way back in October when we did some outrageous early Oscar
Yeah,
predictions.
that was really early.
Some aged well, some did not. We have Hunter from the Cinema Dispatch and the creator of the Critic Circle, and Jacob Cunningham from Jacob Watches Films, one of the most passionate people about Oscar reactions, nomination reactions, etc. And my trivia partner in the League of Cinephiles, as opposed to Hunter, my former opponent.
I am
But
just a host. I do nothing else.
so, how are you guys? How are you feeling after these Oscars?
Pretty good.
Yeah, no, it was a fun night of surprises and not surprises as well. You know, unexpected wins and some really excited expected ones. So I thought it was a pretty great night all around.
Yeah, I overall super happy with the winners. Obviously, there's one I'm really unhappy with, but we'll get to that, I'm sure. But I haven't even fully had time to process it because Oscars are on in the morning here. So like, it's literally just been a full day of Oscars, editing my video. Then I went to a Weird Al concert. That was fun, and I just got home. So this podcast is going to be great, a great safe space for me to explore my feelings about what we witnessed.
Yes. So, where should we start?
Let's start with predictions wise. How did you guys do? Do you guys have numbers? How many you got right?
I say I had 17 out of 23 right, and I would have had 18, but I switched the live action short. I switched away from an Irish Goodbye at the last minute. So everything else I had stuck with the whole, not the whole season, but for like the last few weeks. So I couldn't be mad at it. If I had been on that camp the whole time, I can't be mad for getting it wrong at that point.
I
Yeah,
had
I did
16,
better
which was
than I
the
usually do.
worst
I'm
I've done
usually
in a while.
pretty bad at predicting Oscars. Like I think my best one so far has been like 10. So
Wow,
I
Golden
did
Derby says I got 12 out of 23.
I did pretty good this year compared to my standards. I got 15.
Yeah,
Wow,
there you go.
Nice.
that's low for me.
I was talking to a friend of mine and he's like, I did no research and got 15. And I'm like,
Oh
see,
no.
my 4 months of all consuming life research, spending entire days on this shit was all worth it for me to get 16 and one more than him. Cheers.
Yeah, that's not great.
At least it's not. How did I did not think. That's weird. I got 12, which I think last year I got like 18, 19. I don't remember.
This is a
But
tough year though.
it was, yeah.
It was a weird
All the
year
below the
because
line categories were such toss ups once you see the actual winners.
exactly, and nobody was sure if everything was gonna sweep or if it was gonna win like best picture and best director, and everything else was gonna, or sorry, best supporting actor, and everything else they were gonna be like more like democratic with, which happens sometimes. But I predicted the sweep, so that's probably why I got
There you go.
high number.
I think the real, I guess, sweep that might have hinged on a lot of people's predictions is just betting on how hard they were going to go on All Quiet on the Western Front. And I decided against them going all in on it, which didn't really pay off in the end. I think our predictions, Hunter, were almost identical. The only one we differed on was score, where I went wrong. So that's where you beat me.
I mean, it's
That's what I get for predicting with my heart. I try to avoid doing it, but every now and then.
Hunter, you're the only one I saw predict score correctly, actually.
Yeah, no, it was one of those where I kind of like Jacob alluded to, I didn't know how much the BAFTAs would impact the All Quiet on the Western Front dominance from translating from 7 BAFTA wins. Like, okay, how many does that actually mean for the Oscars? And for most categories, I just said it moved All Quiet up to the runners-up position in every category except score, where I was like, Babylon's kind of weak in that one, where it's not one where it should be. So I figured that it would take that one. And I didn't.
Can
Yeah,
I-
that's what I put Everything Everywhere All at Once coming in for score, and I guess I was wrong.
Oh, come on, man. That was a bad
I
prediction.
I could have seen that happening, honestly, because I feel like the whole award season, everyone was
know.
just
trying to be-
desperately looking for an alternative to Babylon. I mean, Critics' Choice gave it to Tar.
Yeah.
Like, people just did not want to give it to Babylon.
Mm-hmm.
And
And
I saw that, and I still predicted it.
But can I say something? The Suicide Squad has an Oscar. Why the hell can't people give this movie an Oscar? It's such a good movie.
The Suicide
It's so
Squad wasn't
frustrating.
insulting to their professions.
Mm.
My
And it
God, I
also
think
makes
it
a lot
was insulting to their professions, honestly.
In a different way.
In a different way, yes.
But the one I don't agree with is production design. Like, out of those
Yeah.
5, I think All Quiet might have been. It's not bad,
Mhm.
but it's the least
Yeah, I don't agree with
good.
that either.
Oh, I think it's deserving. It just should have been Babylon.
Mhm.
Yeah, I had Babylon in my favorite for that one as well. Like, it's not. I thought Elvis was gonna win for some reason, but
But
my
they came to
favorite
the
was
census
Babylon.
and gave Elvis nothing.
That is the one thing that I'm taking away from this that makes me sleep well at night. That Elvis.
I'm
came
glad
home
I'm glad I'm among fellow Elvis haters. For this
Oh,
show.
trust me, you are.
I'm so happy it won nothing.
I'm so happy it won nothing. I do have to say something before we get into like most of the stuff. I'm so disappointed that my 3 favorite movies of the year got nothing.
Mm.
So what are
Babylon,
we
we talked
talking?
about that. We're all
Yeah.
frustrated about that. There's no need to talk about that anymore. It's just sad. Um, the Fablemans got jack shit for some reason,
Mhm.
and Knives Out. I get it's probably more reasonable that you got nothing compared to the other 2 that I talked
So we
about,
got one nomination.
but it still hurts.
I
Mhm.
think it's just like the first one. It was probably like 11th in picture.
Mhm.
What, Jacob?
It was probably like if they had 11 slots in picture, it probably would have got in.
True.
Oh well.
I think it was better than Triangle of Sadness and Elvis. So there's
My-
that.
Everything
My
is
top three got 7 wins between them, all from one
Good.
movie.
One movie they got 7 wins. So.
Okay, are you guys ready
Same, I guess.
to talk about like the more? I don't want to say important. That feels so shitty. It's because we all love movies.
Above the line category.
The above the line categories.
Mhm.
Let's start with performances, and let's start with the obvious one, the one that everyone else predicted. Jacob even read it in our own awards as the most predictable one, which is Ki Hui Kwan for Everything Everywhere All at Once in the Best Supporting Actor category. Jacob, go on. This is your time.
This is one that I kind of predicted really early on, even before I thought the film was going to be a big awards player. I thought maybe it'll stick around and get screenplay and Ki Hei Kwan should get in. And it sort of just became like, yeah, he's going to win. And I think it's so deserved. And like, I'm sure some people might argue that it's a career or a comeback or a narrative award. But from the moment I saw that film, I thought that was such a special performance. And I think it's something that taps into sort of an earnestness that and a character whose sort of way of life and way of looking at the world is something that I think we could all take something from. And I think it's, you know, yeah, like using kindness as a shield for your vulnerabilities and stuff. It's a really beautiful character. And Ki Hei Kwan's his speech made me cry while watching the Oscars. I am so, even though, because it gets to the point where you have these things where you're like, oh, this would be amazing if this person would win an Oscar, but then you see them win every precursor, and sometimes it can lose that sheen. But no, every single time watching him get up on that stage was an absolute delight, and I really cherished that moment.
Yeah. Hunter, what do you think?
I mean, just as Jacob just said, he could win Best Actor next year for just his speeches he's been giving. All these ones. Not that he's acting through it or anything. It is pure, genuine emotion from him the whole time. So it's a great win for the movie. It was that thing the whole season long where it was like but at least Ke-Huy Quan will win from that movie. But at least he'll get something. And then, it kept building up, and he was the leader pretty much of that movie the whole time in terms of getting the wins and the nominations and keeping the emotion of that awards campaign forward in every single place. So it's so nice to see him finally get his moment there at the top of the show pretty much as well.
Yeah, I had a weird feeling. In the end, I did put it in my ballot that I thought he was gonna win, and he did. But I had a weird feeling like in like the last minutes of like my ballot that Judd Hirsch would take it away for some reason. That the Academy would do something really weird, as they have
I
done
think they just
before.
nominated him for the meme.
The nomination was weird enough, brother.
Exactly.
but I'm glad that it didn't happen. This was Ke-Huy Quan's year. Like you guys said, the speeches. Oh my god, I
They
like
got better and better.
he got me bawling. Like and to be fair, all his speeches, I think I cried watching. Like in like all his acceptance speeches in the like throughout the awards. But yeah,
And I guess he brought
He's the
something a little different to each one as well.
yeah. Yeah, like it was great, and I think he won honestly this award. Like I was editing the video of the Golden Slices, and when I got to your part, Jacob, and I had to choose a scene of Ki-Hoo Kwan to play while we were talking about him. Um, and I kind of I teared up just watching that scene. It's like the I rather do laundry with you, all of my life. That scene, and like when I was editing that, I was like, there's no way nobody can take this away from him. This is it right here. So I'm glad that it didn't. We didn't have an upset for that one.
I know the laundry and taxes line is the one that gets played everywhere, but I think another amazing bit is like that speech where he's just like, why can't we just be kind? I don't know what's going on. I know we're all scared and
that's so
confused.
good.
I love that so much. That bit makes me cry every time I watch the film. And also, I just want to shout out Barry Keoghan because I think in another year he wins.
Yeah.
And he's like a rising star who I've been following ever since Killing of a Sacred Deer, and just so happy for everything he's achieved this year. And I'm sure he will get his chance to win one day as well.
He's got a long career ahead of him. Both he and Brendan Gleeson deserve that double nomination for Banshees, which surprisingly won nothing, but we'll get to that.
Oh boy, we will get to that.
Oh. Okay, the next one I want to bring up is one that not a lot of people were predicting. I have no idea how I predicted that. Like I told you guys, I'm not that good at this stuff. It's Jamie Lee Curtis winning for Best Supporting Actress. I had a feeling this would happen, and it actually happened. And I have very conflicting feelings about it. Let's start with Hunter on this one.
Oops.
Yes, with you.
I'm good. Yeah.
Is it that bad?
It's still raw.
Do you want me to like let it out first?
Oh my god.
Is he frozen or just having a breakdown?
I think he's just having a breakdown. Oh my god.
All right, is my it's not.
Oh, I think he's actually frozen now. Oh no, he's not.
I hope not.
What are your thoughts on Jamie Lee Curtis, Hunter?
Oh well. Well, Alan, you were good to have the feeling to predict it because no one had a good feeling about this category at all. I mean, this was definitely one of those where the category, the power vacuum that was supporting actors all season, nominations, contenders, winners now at the end. I mean, it was just you grabbing even to an inkling of power in that category, you would win it, just like Jamie Lee Curtis did with the SAG Award, where at that very last minute, she had been campaigning great all season, and she really capitalized on that opportunity at the last minute to play her overdue narrative, which she's built up over a 40-year career and have, been, along with Ke-Huy Quan, probably the biggest cheerleader for the biggest movie in the Oscars this year.
Yeah.
You know who I blame for this?
There
The
you
campaign
go.
team, but I blame the campaign team behind the Fablemans for this. You know, if they just
Yeah.
if they just put Williams in supporting, we wouldn't have had this confusion. Granted, that's not a performance I'd vote for either, but you know that as soon as that happened, the race just became a mess and it never got cleaned up. But yeah, I love Everything Everywhere All at Once. I love Jamie Lee Curtis. I love her speeches, but I think that's one of the weakest acting winners of all time. It just there's no way people were voting for the performance when they voted for her. There's
No, they
just
were
no
voting
way.
for the body of work. They were voting for Jamie Lee. They were voting for Jamie Lee Curtis. They were voting for
their friend.
not their. I think that's a bad way to put it. I think it's
Right.
more awarding a she's never gonna get that chance again, ever probably, because she's not really like a dramatic actress. So and she's her movie. So I understand why it happened. I understand what her peers thinking. Um, and I do love her. I love her so much that it's hard for me to be to feel weird about this, but I can't. But I can't help it. I feel weird about this. I think Angela Bassett should have won.
I want to rant a little bit because I don't like you said. Like it looked like Michelle Williams before they campaigned her for lead, but still we got an amazing lineup of nominations. Angela Bassett, Hong Chow, Stephanie Hsu, and Kerry Condon. It's one of the best nominee lineups of all time. And when people started predicting Jamie Lee Curtis, I thought it was for the meme at first because she's funny in it, but she wasn't Oscar worthy. And then she got nominated, and I was like, okay, it's a career nomination, right? We're good. And then it's 4 spectacular performances and then a fun performance. And I love Jamie Lee Curtis also, but I feel like if we're voting on body of work, if we're just talking about acting, I wouldn't rank her portfolio that much higher above Angela Bassett's because it's like saying Tom Cruise or Denzel Washington. They're both amazing, and Angela Bassett was more fierce. Or Kerry Condon also looked like she might have been the upset, and then I don't know, she's lovely, so I'm glad to see her happy on that stage. But it feels like the wrong performance. I know I love the movie. I would have given it to Stephanie Hsu if you want to give EEAO that extra category. But yeah, I don't like how we went from Ariana DeBose and West Side Story to this. I think it's the worst acting win of this century.
Jesus
I think
Christ.
the last two supporting actress winners were really cool. It is often a career award, but yeah, DeBose and Ya Jung-yoon I think were awesome winners. So I guess we were due for them to do another boring career award one. But yeah, I agree with the 2 career
To be
awards.
fair, I don't think we can call
I
this
would
one
have been
boring.
much cooler with.
It is definitely a career award, but it's one of the most
not boring.
things.
I think it's just lame. I think you have the opportunity to give it to one of these 2, I wouldn't say newcomers, but less established stars who give incredible performances in Kerry Condon, Stephanie Hsu. And I was really pulling for Condon in this one. Hsu's probably my favorite in the category, but I really wanted Condon to win this. So that was a shame. But look, I'm not going to sit here and complain about it all day. And I guess like you were saying, Alan, it's hard to complain about Jamie Lee Curtis, and I like the phrase Oscar winner Jamie Lee Curtis.
Exactly.
I don't
that's
like
my point.
Phrase
That's my point.
Oscar winner Jamie Lee Curtis for her performance.
But I don't
and
like
everything
how we
everywhere
got
all
there.
at once. Yeah, exactly.
Obviously, when you upset this is the 2020 Oscars where it was she beats Maria Bakalova in Borat 2, I'd be okay. But this year,
Maria Bakalova would have been a better winner than Jamie Lee Curtis. That's all.
Literally.
Oh my God, guys!
Oscar winner Jamie Lee Curtis.
There's a brief moment where it looked like she might have almost won there.
Oh God.
That's my rant.
Okay, let's get into best acting performances. Let's start with this one just because I'm so freaking happy about this one. There she is, the queen. I'm so happy that Michelle Yeoh won this award. I know that Cate Blanchett delivered a fantastic performance this year. We all saw Tar. She was bombastic in that movie. But this was Michelle's year. There's no taking anything away from that.
Let me say, in the days leading up to it, it looked impossible that they wouldn't vote for Michelle Yeoh and give her that moment on stage.
Mm-hmm.
And I was saying it for a while, Like even though Kate's winning Critics' Choice BAFTA, like Michelle can swoop in at any moment, even if she loses everything. And
I'm glad she wore a less noisy dress this time.
Yes,
Anyone watch us
thank God. That was so bad.
But no, I'm so stoked about this winner, and I guess like going off like where we were in the night, it seemed very inevitable. But I think before the ceremony, there was still a real 50-50 about it. I think most people were predicting Yo, but it was still anything could happen because the Oscars clearly they're fine with giving people 3 Oscars even when they don't care about winning them, like with Frances McDormand. But this just felt like it had to happen. It's a huge moment, not just for representation, but just for it's an amazing performance. And you know, you could argue that it's not as like technically refined as Blanchette's, but it's a performance that moved me like very few others did this year. And it was such a beautiful moment. And shout out to my favorite in the category, Andrea Riseborough, but I still wanted Yo to win.
Well, for that one, the nomination was the win for Andrea. So,
Exactly.
Take where you get there. So and we'll continue this with the next acting conversation. But like Michelle Yeoh and all those, Jamie Lee Curtis and Kei Kwan, like people you would not expect to win Oscars in their acting lifetimes. They're like, kind of outsiders of the Oscar conversation most times. So it's nice to see them get their due, make great speeches, be genuinely happy to win this award. Like Cate Blanchett, of all the actors out there that'll probably get a 3rd Oscar, I mean, I wouldn't even doubt Cate Blanchett get 4 Oscars if she ties Katharine Hepburn in her lifetime. I would not.
And she would deserve them.
She would deserve it, and I have no doubt for that.
For sure.
So it's not when. I don't even think Cate Blanchett's shedding a tear at all for this at all. So it's not nothing.
No, I think I said in my video the happiest person in the room when Yo wins is Cate Blanchett.
Angela Bassett looked like she was shedding tears, and I felt horrible.
Well,
she did not look happy when Curtis
won. The face that Angela made.
I was making that face.
I was like, oh God, I feel so bad for her. She thought she was gonna win.
Yeah, you do feel bad when how long award season is and all the emotion that had to go into Black Panther 2, the performances, the promotion for it, the lead up to it, and then you win the Golden Globe and then the Critics' Choice, and then you don't win the other ones, and then you get all the way after this so much work, and then it's not taken from you. I want to say that but it goes to someone else. It's just terrible feeling. I can imagine.
And look, I was, if the camera was on me, I looked much worse than she did. So she can look a little unhappy. It's
Jacob
fine.
was like ankle deep in like alcohol at that point.
No, that was the Curtis win was what made me start drinking, actually. A friend of mine messaged me, I'm day drinking. I'm like, all right, I'm with you, brother. And then Babylon lost.
I would say next time, Academy, instead of shouting out Viola Davis and Danielle Deadweiler in your opening speech, just nominate them.
Yeah, just nominate them. That would have been better.
Nominate the right performances.
Could you imagine if Ana de Armas won?
I mean, all the headlines.
The same as the Curtis feeling, even though I love her.
Oh God. Okay, let's go to Best Actor, which I don't know about you guys, but I'm extremely happy.
Thank God, one of the good ones won.
Very happy.
I was rooting for Colin until I watched The Whale. The exact second I left The Whale, I was rooting for Brendan Fraser. Like it was like it took me half a second to change my mind, and I'm so glad he went all the way.
I mean, my hope for that category was anyone but Butler, so I got my wish.
And it looked like,
I was in the same wavelength as you.
I think after the Golden Globes, like it looked like he suddenly the race slid past him. So I thought it was either Butler or Farrell, and then he won the SAG. So I was like, maybe Butler is still winning, but I really hope it's one of the exciting ones. And I'm so glad Fraser got the moment that he deserved, even though it was a rocky awards road. Still got the SAG and the Critics' Choice, and now his well-deserved Oscar, even though Butler put in a lot of commitment. I just thought him and Colin Farrell were better. And and I just realized all the acting wins were from A24 movies.
Mm-hmm. The same as the SAG, actually.
Yeah.
They won what did they win? 9 awards? Insane. Yeah. And I think there was some stat they were the first.
I love them so much. I'm so glad they're getting the recognition they deserve.
In one show.
They're like saving Hollywood right now.
but yeah, Fraser is incredible in The Whale, and I was really rooting for him to win. I think I liked Farrell and Mescal's performances a little more, but Fraser, I was really rooting for him because I don't really like that movie, but he shines through every single issue I have with that script and transcends it, and he is like so powerful in it. And again, just what a story.
Mhm.
Yes, and also I have a feeling that both Mescal and Colin Farrell will have a chance again. I'm not sure Brandon will. So again, because of he's not usually in this type of movie. So
Yeah, it'll be
he'll be
extremely
now.
interesting what he does now with this. Where The Whale was his big comeback movie. He hadn't done anything of note in so long. So now when he with an Oscar to his name and so much internet fame and I mean just fame in general, I guess. Now, what can he get with his next project? Because he can't go more big than The Whale in terms of acting showcases. So how is this gonna?
And in terms of size of the
There we go.
character.
Yes, yeah. So
Yeah.
what will come from this is very much what I'm intrigued by for
I'm
all
very
the
intrigued
winners
as well.
too. But Brendan probably the most in terms of just what will he do with that?
Well, I think he's proven he's got some versatility and he can transform. So I'm sure he's going to get a lot of stuff thrown his way, as hopefully will Kihei Kwan. I think he said in his backstage speech he doesn't have anything lined up, but he said he's going to call his agent and hope he gets a different answer. And I think he's going to have some stuff lined up pretty soon.
Mm-hmm.
For sure. Okay, guys, let's talk a little bit about best director. Also, not that much of a surprise that the Daniels won. I think most people were predicting this one. I don't have the best opinion about this one, so I'll go for someone more positive. Which one of you guys wants to start?
I'll just say it looked like for the longest time that it was going to be Spielberg for his third win, and then the Daniels got the Critics' Choice and the DGA, and they weren't the underdog anymore. It was like a lock for them, and it's if you had told me that the directors of Swiss Army Man would win 3 Oscars for the next movie, I'd be like, that's wild. Let alone like I didn't know if Everything Everywhere, like when I saw it last year, I thought it would be like such an underdog to get into any Oscar category. And so I'm really glad it's such a unique movie. It feels like Bong Joon-ho breaking into the mainstream, which I realized there was some parallels between this and 2019, where there's a war movie that sweeps the BAFTAs, and then a movie with an all Asian-led cast that wins a bunch and becomes the best reviewed movie on Letterboxd. So there's some parallels there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
My favorite part of the best director category was Todd Field's cool hat.
Mm-hmm. He's
Look at that,
rocking
man.
the hats all season long. I mean, I guess he doesn't want people to see these losses hair or anything, but I mean, he knows how to rock the fashion for it. Every hat, the baseball hats, the top hats, whatever it is, since Venice, he's been going with it.
Big fan of the hats.
Yeah.
Yes, same here. Big
But,
fan of the director as well. I actually wanted him or Steven Spielberg to win.
Let's not go that far.
But I can understand why the Daniels won. They did an amazing job directing that movie, like an amazing job. So it's not one of those ones that I'm like mad that they won. It's more of one of those ones that I prefer that someone else won. But I take nothing away from there. They're amazing. Their speeches were great. What they represent is also really like beautiful, I guess. I guess that's a word to use. And yeah, like I'm not mad about this at all.
And hopefully we can get more Best Picture nominees with dildo fights from now on.
And I think they represent like a great model for what film directors should aspire to be and what like a change of a new generation in that they seem to have a prioritize of like, you know, taking care of their cast and crew and creating like a loving, nurturing environment. And that comes first before like getting the perfect shot. And if like you can do both. And yeah, I guess I gotta say, I just feel so vindicated by this win because I was one of the people when Swiss Army Man came out, like proclaiming it as a masterpiece. And it's like, that's a 5-star movie for me. It's one of my favorite films of the 2010s. So I've been watching these guys with great interest. So I was excited for Everything Everywhere. So to see like the whole world jump on board with these guys and for them to beat Oscar winning directors is like, just like, it feels inevitable now, but like a year ago when this film came out, I never could have dreamed of it. So watching them get up on that stage was really, really special. And just again, they're like, before Everything Everywhere, they're pretty small, new, up and coming directors, but they have big ideas and big visions, and they are going to get projects funded because of this. And that's super exciting to see what they're going to cook up next.
Yeah, I'm so excited about that. Like, I really want to see what they do next. Hunter, what did you think about the best director choice?
Oh no, it's a great win in terms of James said the positivity they've put out this whole season in terms of being the unlucky kids to be there when they at the DGA talk they talked so long about how Spielberg influenced them and all the work that they've taken from him that has gone into theirs, and then every director as well, like Spielberg and Todd Field, and even Mark McDonough was there talking about how much they loved the Daniels work in this film. So it's great to see directors that love each other's work and has taken this competition and acted like it's a great journey to talk with other people. So it's great to see them finally get their due for that one. I wasn't expecting the screenplay win as much as the directing win, because if anybody was going to beat them, it was going to be at the DGA, and once they won that, it was pretty much over. So it's nice to see them go all the way here.
I'll say I bet money on them before the Golden Globes, so I won like $250 for this director win, because
nice.
I don't know. As soon as the film emerged as a big Oscar player, I'm like, why wouldn't it win director? It's so directory, and I know a lot of people didn't buy it, but I just thought, like, look, I think if people love the movie, why would they not vote for it in director?
Small addendum: Damien Chazelle should have won this prize.
I actually agree. He would be my number one.
That's my choice for this.
Yeah,
he wasn't even nominated, so screw that, I guess. Okay, still in that row talking about this movie. Let's talk about Best Picture, which is of course Everything Everywhere All at Once. This title is still a mouthful for a foreigner, but it's very. But it was a great movie. I still haven't rewatched it, so it's still kind of low on my list. I know I need to rewatch it for it to probably like go up. But yeah, I can't complain about this one either. Like, I understand the power of this movie. I again probably would have given it to like the Fablemans or something like that, but I understand and I appreciate everything this movie has done, and it should be Best Picture this year. Let's say that.
Say someone called this in October when I was talking to them on Instagram, and I was like, "Oh yeah, for sure, that's great reasoning." And since then, I've just been like, "This movie is gonna win Best Picture, no matter how it gets there." And it's one of the best winners in recent memory, and it's just a movie that encapsulates the experience of a movie, but also the messages and themes that a movie should pass on to its audience.
I think it's a film that's going, and I probably waffled on about this last time I was on the show, but I think it's a film that's going to have a big cultural impact. And I think it's going to be one of those best pictures that genuinely lasts. And something I've been thinking about since I saw the movie is that 10 years from now, young filmmakers or film students will be asked, what movie got you into movies? And their answer will be Everything Everywhere All at Once. It's one of those movies. And I think it's a fitting Best Picture winner for our time, and hopefully a prescient one for the future for more kinds of movies like this to win.
Yeah, you actually did say something very similar to that, and I agreed then, and I agree now. So
yeah, it's kind of like in terms of the Academy's recognition of like Midnight Cowboy was an X-rated movie that was nowhere an Oscar movie you would think of then, and now you got this movie which, like you said, dildo fights and all, talking raccoons and all that in an Oscar-winning movie. It's something you would not put on paper years in advance for this to happen. But for it to now happen, it's much more of an impact than the expected winners to do it. So it'll be great for the future to see what it opens up for the Oscars as well, in the immediate and far future.
That being said, it's no Babylon, but it's close.
Thank you. I was gonna say it, but I'm glad someone else said it.
No, I like everything anyway. Incredibly special movie to me, but Babylon is the best movie of the year. Let's be real, lads.
Well, I'll go out on that in here with Babylon Love.
Yeah,
That's great.
4 ways Babylon Love.
What we learned about last night is that Babylon should have swept, but it wasn't even nominated.
I could do a whole podcast episode about that score loss, man.
No, that was ridiculous. Ridiculous.
Yeah, but I expected it. I didn't think it was well reviewed enough for them to want to give it. Sadly.
Okay, guys, thank you so much for joining our special Oscars coverage episode. Thanks once again for Jacob and Hunter for coming on. I know it's like really early for Hunter and really late for Jacob. It's like
this is actually pretty good compared to usual when I'm on these things.
So thank you guys so much for coming on. We love having you on the pod, and we hope to see you guys soon. Do you guys want to shout out your socials and everything?
Yeah, you can find me at the Cinema Dispatch on all platforms, Instagram, website, Facebook, Twitter, all that. And you can find our work at the Critics Circle as well. Almost all of us are on there, or all of us will be on there in the very near future. So there's a lot of things to look forward to there.
I'd just like to just follow the Cinema Dispatch. I'll shout out as well. Like he genuinely puts out great stuff, and it's been like a joy watching Hunter go from figuring out Instagram to like genuinely being really good at it now.
I got a lot more to go on this one. I'm thank you that people actually appreciate it, because I still feel like there's a lot more left to do on that front.
It's a damn good page.
Yeah, you're killing it with the.
Thank you.
And I guess I'll shout out my own page at Jacob Watches Films. I didn't start out as like a specific film page. It kind of doubled as my personal page, but in the last year or so, I've really tried to zero in on making a lot more film related posts. So follow me on there. I'm doing my own awards right now. I've started doing some fun lists. And then also on YouTube, Jacob Cunningham. You can find links on there through my Instagram. Post a lot of Oscar videos. Below. It's
gonna be linked here in the description.
There you go. I just put up my Oscar reactions video, so give that a watch if you want to see me like be a whiny bitch about Babylon losing score.
Oh man, I haven't had time to watch it. It's gonna be what I watch tonight, and I'm so excited. So excited to watch that. Okay, thank you guys once again for joining us. Remember to follow us at Film Fanatics Pod on Instagram. We kind of have a TikTok, not really. And remember to, most importantly, subscribe. We're putting all of our energy now in this YouTube channel, so it takes a lot of effort. So please subscribe, like the video, and all that. And Gal, why don't you take us out?
All right, we are the Film Fanatics, and this has been some great Oscar talk. Happy Oscaring, everyone. Let us know your thoughts. Who was the biggest upset, and which win did you cheer on the most? And where would you rank Everything Everywhere All at Once among other recent Best Picture winners? Let's hear it in the comments.
That's it. Thanks, guys. Have a good one.